G'day guys, and welcome back to another live stream on this summer's Thursday night. Well, it feels like summer. It's been pretty hot here up in Queensland, and thank you for everyone joining us. 53 people already here. That is fantastic. So we do have Jason back today. I was very lucky to have Adam from the Hootie Who channel last week. That was an awesome show. I hope all you guys liked that. Very kind of him to come on, considering it was 2:30 in the morning for him. So before we start, if you could just give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, just hit that subscribe button. It's pretty easy to do. Just punch it and you'll be good to go for every video that comes out, and hit that notification bell. Would be really, really appreciated. And you can find all our links, Jason's links as well to his podcast, down below in the description. So we'll just bring Jason in. Good evening, Jason.
Well, good to see I wasn't replaced last week.
Oh, you never know. Hootie will be coming back, I think. So, yep.
We'll see what happens. I might not be going away next week too, so maybe get Hootie Who back on, or someone on to, join the show. But yeah, looks like I listened to it while I was out there. I tried to log in for a little bit, chat to you guys, but wasn't much coverage out there. There was a little bit of lag, but yeah, it was a good weekend hunting. I've never seen, honestly, on any farm, this much grass. In some areas, they had a lot of rain down in this area, which is notorious for a fair amount of rain. Sometimes they won't get rain at all. And like, as you guys know, it was raining for 3 weeks on end. I was trying to go, and I thought, no, I'm not going when it's raining. And the grass in some areas was chest high. It was just totally unbelievable. So there was absolutely no chance of lying on the ground to shoot rabbits. About 4 of the warrens that I normally see, couldn't even see them due to the long grass. So hopefully that dies off during the summer. He gets a few cows up there to knock that grass down a bit. But anyway, you're probably better off getting onto those super chats. You got a couple already, dude.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, JR. It looks like Aaron's going to have a therapeutic vent session tonight. I'm a bit too tired after this week's work, and especially today. Had a monster day. I only just got home about half an hour ago, covered from head to toe in plaster dust. So, yeah, pretty knackered, pretty tired. But just tonight's subject came about by I was talking to a new YouTuber, Jeremy from Twisted Oaks, a really good channel. He just started up. He's a patriot over in America, and they seem to have the same problems as what we have. But we'll get into that very soon. And we have Ollie. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you very much for that. And Yak Food Tube. We're pretty sure we know what that means. Just wanted to say I am glad there are nice guys out there. Also listen to some RATM lads. It hits harder these days. Thank you very much.
Machine, isn't it? Rage Against the Machine. I could be wrong, but I'm a bit of a rockhead, so I know RATM.
Yep. That sounds good. Yeah, I don't mind them as well. And who do we have down here? Surat, $10. Thank you very much. Is it hard to get your firearms license first time round in New South Wales? I want to go for the Cat A, B, C, and H. We'll answer that in a minute. Jason can answer that one because he's in New South Wales, but we'll just go to the next super chat. Just don't want to leave anyone out. Where is it? And our good friend Lockie. Thank you very much. No question, but thank you so much. And thank you for everyone helping out with the channel. Really, really appreciate it. Now I'm back into doing the reviews. I've been out filming. So I pumped out a couple last week and you seem to like it. That was my new gun you guys saw, the CZ515. So a couple of people did guess what it was going to be, but yep, the review came out and it seemed to be very popular. It was a great little gun. I didn't have high hopes for it, to be quite honest, as Jason knows, when I first pulled it out of the box. But yeah, it seemed to perform extremely well. It was 7mm group at 100 meters for a 22. Yeah, wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, it looked pretty good, didn't it? That little CZ. It didn't. Looks like you liked it. You're not going to sell it now. You're not going to, sell it. It's you got to keep it and enjoy it, shoot it, kiss it. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll probably keep it. I'm going to get it swapped over, of course. It is a bit of a pain to swap over, I found, but I will give it a go and get it swapped over. So I shot I shot it all right-handed, even though I'm not a right-handed shooter anymore, and it seemed to go. Yeah, it seemed to work all right. It'd be great for follow-up shops. It would be great for your bunny hunting trips, and you can actually get them in New South Wales, but a pin stock.
I've already got a couple of 22s, so I'm have to put that one on the back burner at $1,400. Is probably I've got all I want at the moment. I'm pretty happy anyway. So yeah.
Yep. No, it's yeah, I enjoyed it. It came up really good. So guys, you can find that review. It's the last one. It was out on Monday, so you'll be able to find that. Major, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. What microphones are you guys running? I'm running. Don't know what the name of these ones are. Hyper, I think it is. Yeah, they're for gaming as well, so they're really good and it extremely clear and comfortable. And I can't really show you guys. It comes with that for all your effects, surround sound, and all that sort of stuff. So, how about you, Jason?
This one here, I think it's Rode Podcaster. I think it's called Rode Podcaster. I've had heaps of them. Rode Procaster. I've had Rode, the USB version. Not sure which that one is. I've had so many. The Sennheiser SM7B, which is an expensive one. Very hard to drive with the preamps and all that because it's so less sensitive. But a lot of people do use it. But I mean, you're not really going to hear a lot. It depends on what you want to do with it, man. Podcasting, YouTubing, gaming, YouTube, whatever it might be. I mean, there's plenty of options out there. Even some of the cheaper ones. I got Sennheiser E835 that I use when I go out in the field. To like interview people out in the street or at the shows and stuff like that. But this one, yeah, Rode Podcaster. It's called Rode Podcaster.
Yes, yeah, Jason loves his microphones, of course, because that's the industry he's in, I guess. And yeah, when he came up last time, he had a bag full of them and equipment.
Yeah, they're good ones. Like I said, there's the difference between, there's not much of a difference between 200 plus and say 600. I mean, yeah, sure, if you're recording, professionally. I think, Pearl Jam recorded one of their, and Michael Jackson on that Shure SM7B. They're about $600. So, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for the average Joe. But, do you really need it? Not so much. I mean, spend more than say 150, you get something pretty good, man. So.
Yeah, yes. I think these are a couple $100, these ones, but they're extremely clear and very comfortable. So Pagara, our good old mate Pagara, HMR operator. Thank you for the super chat. If you want top 22 Bruno Model 2, is the one put up all new rifles to shame? Is this one puts up all new rifles to shame? Yeah, they are good. I've had a mate who had one. It was handed down from his grandfather, I think. And yeah, they really are good rifles, that's for sure.
I've never had a Bruno. I think I had a couple of friends that had them, the old 22s. Yeah, mate, always reliable, very good, last a long time if they're looked after. Can't really go wrong. Some people say they're still a lot better than the new, say, CZs coming out. The old good quality. But I get good results out of my CZs, so no real complaints from my end. But yeah, if you can pick one up at a good price, pick one up if you get the opportunity.
Yes, definitely. And we want to show Jason has his torch. So we do want to thank Powerbeam for helping out with this episode tonight. They're very kind of them. We got our torches. Jason's finally got his torch. Fantastic. These things, they really are. This is the Meteor we got, and it is the hunting package. So it comes with a whole heap of stuff. And I tell you what, these are fantastic. So I would really like to thank the support of Powerbeam on the show. They've helped me out a few times in the past, and they're extremely top blokes. So after a torch, take a look at Powerbeam. This is their new model, and it's reasonably priced. And to be quite honest, I forgot the price on it, but it's not too bad. It's not going to bust the bank. And really good guys down there, and it's an Australian company, which is something we always like to try and support. So it does come with everything, doesn't it, Jason? What do you think of it?
Yeah, I used it on my rabbit trip just the other day, so it was good. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of it because it was at night time, and we were trying to call some foxes in and just didn't get any. I don't know why. We were seeing foxes left, right, and center. We just couldn't bring them in on the whistle, and I was trying to film it, but didn't get any come in, unfortunately. But just did a bit of footage with the torch, and it came out pretty good. But it goes a long way. I can't wait to put it on my gun properly. It was just a bit of a test this time. When I go to the Riverina, I'm going to put it on one of the guns. It even comes with one of the clips as well, so you can put it on your gun. It comes with so you can clip it, put it on your scope or on whatever that goes on your scope, and then put it on top. Also comes with the trigger as well with it, so you can screw it on, and then you put that on the side. So as you're shooting, you press the button on it at the same time. If it's right there, that'll just turn on while you're doing it, so you can just go like that. Boo, pretty good, pretty good.
And the battery chargers are well made. Like some of them come up real cheap, crappy battery chargers, but these ones are really good.
Yeah.
So definitely do like this, and thank you so much to Powerbeam for helping the show out again. They are a top bunch of blokes, and they actually helped our podcast tonight, our live stream. So thank you so much, and I'd like to thank Darren from Darren from Powerbeam for making this possible.
You've got podcasts on the mind, dude. You better start podcasting as well as making videos.
Yeah, exactly. Someone actually did suggest that. So so finally, Jason's got his torch. So it's awesome. So thank you very much to Powerbeam. Really appreciate that. So so it has been a busy week, an interesting week. We got all the debacle happening over in the US elections. It never seems to end. So, and Trump is edging closer and closer to a maybe win.
Yeah, I was looking at this today. A lot of people are saying, if they can prove enough voter fraud. So what did he win today? Alaska? Was it Alaska and Georgia? I think was it Michigan, Georgia? I can't remember exactly. But, some people are saying this is what I was hearing today, whether it happens or not. There's a long way to go until this happens. Let's say that they find voter fraud is rampant throughout this election, which, obviously it was. We're seeing at 3 a.m. they shut down voting, and then all of a sudden they say we're coming back at 9 a.m. in the morning because everyone's tired. Then they recommence voting an hour later, and all of a sudden Biden's got 220,000 extra votes. Total scam in my opinion. I think that's exactly what's happening. I think they're right. He knew this was going to happen 6 months out before the election. He was saying this, but listen, I'm 80-20, 80% chance he's going to lose. I hope not, but what they're saying is if it goes to the Supreme Court, then it goes on to Congress, and Congress actually votes on it. Even though they got more Democrats in the House, it's only one vote per state. So Republicans hold 30 and the Democrats hold 18. So if it goes to Congress to vote, basically the election is null and void, and basically Congress votes on it. Apparently it's happened twice in US history. And from what they're saying, that's why Hillary Clinton was telling Joe Biden not to concede, because as soon as you concede, basically conceding is not constitutional. You don't have to. It's just basically, a friendly thing that you do, a transfer of power. And she was smart. She understood that if you concede, right, that's as good as saying that basically you've lost the election and they will proceed. So you can't concede. You can't say you're conceding. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, whether it goes to the Supreme Court, then on to Congress. I can't wait to find out, actually. So, the fact that Biden, 72 million votes for Trump. I don't think they were expecting him to get that many. I really don't think they did. And they knew because of the coronavirus and COVID that was where they were going to try and scam people through this mail-in ballot system. And it seems it's happened. Ballots coming in after the election, not signed properly, dead people. It's just absolute rife with fraud. So, but again, the media, as they normally do, Aaron, as you know, have basically said, he's won. So they're trying to do everything they can to get this guy out of office by calling the election when nobody's won yet. So he's not going to give up without a fight. And even if he does, even if he concedes, I think there's big things coming from the Trump family over the next, say, 10 to 15 years with his sons. Maybe Ivanka, who knows? But I don't think they're going to give up, mate. They're definitely not going to give up long term. So I think they'll be in politics for a long time to come, which will probably be the bane of the Democrats and, the socialist crazies over there. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly. He did say that he was going to try and pack the courts as one of the things he's going to do, pack the Supreme Court. And if they do that, basically there'll never be another Democrat. The YouTube channel, Mr. Reagan, I think it is, did a very, very good article on that. And it was really interesting with all the scenarios and the dirty tactics that the Democrats can do to ensure that the Republicans never, ever see office again. So
one thing I will mention, when I was away on holidays, and me and Aaron have spoken about this somewhat in a little bit of a disagreement, I guess, but these big tech companies, you should see every single post. Oh, Joe Biden is the winner. Election fraud is disputed. Everything he's putting up. I mean, these tech companies just make me sick at the moment. Just watching this stuff infuriates me that they can just jump on there. That's not true. I mean, who's independent fact-checking this shit? What? People in call centers over in India or, Silicon Valley 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds in their trust and safety team. I mean, I'll decide what I want to see. You don't tell me what I want to see and what I believe. It's just as simple as that. But, again, they're trying their absolute best to frame Biden as the winner. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But if it goes the way I think it's going to go, then if it goes to court and they can prove voter fraud, then the Supreme Court can't make a decision. It goes to Congress. Well, so like I said, it's only one vote per state, and Republicans hold 30, so it'll be 30-18. So Trump will become president, and then you watch the meltdown. I mean, I'm putting it down that he's not going to win at this stage, but we'll see what happens. Crazier things have happened. I hope he wins, and voter fraud, and you got to have integrity in the in voting. It's just you have to do that. You can't accept bad ballots or dead people or things that weren't submitted on the right dates. You just can't do that. So you got to do the things the right way.
No, exactly. And if he gets in, it's going to be absolutely beautiful, the meltdown videos. I think I'll be making one. But,
yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. So I think Trump's a fighter. He's a fighter. I'll give him that, mate. He's one tough bastard. I would have given up a long time ago and just thought, mate, I'm 74. Let's go shoot some guns. Let's enjoy the last part of your life. But, I mean, I think this is his life. And, we just can't let these – like Biden, the guy can't even talk properly. I can't even believe this is the best candidate they had, But, like I said, 3 a.m., he's behind 17% in Pennsylvania at 3 a.m. At 4 a.m., he's beating Trump. Tell me how it works. It doesn't work like that. There's no way he could make up these votes. He was 950,000 votes ahead. Impossible. Everyone knows it's impossible. I just don't think they were thinking, Aaron, that he was going to get as many votes as he did, because obviously his ground game was absolutely fantastic, holding rallies, 5 rallies, on the last day of the election, rallies months before the election. His ground game was strong, and people voted on the day. They voted. And I don't think they were thinking they would have to, basically, create that many votes to get Biden over the line. And they had to, because Trump had so many votes. I think if they put it to how many Obama had, like similar to that, then that was probably going to be a win. But, mate, it was 70 million votes. And they're like, oh, shit, this is not good. Our guy's going to lose. So, interesting.
It was. It's a good one. Old Harry Biden got a lot of votes on veterans, especially those from the U.S. Civil War. He definitely did. He was definitely his workers were trolling the graveyards, getting names and everything. But yeah, it's just pure fraud, absolute fraud. You can't, no matter what way you look at it. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to realize that. And I think a lot of Democrats will probably, the smarter ones, which aren't very smart, but they'll probably just think, how can they go on being a Democrat with when they're blatantly cheating? Maybe it's not in their blood either. That's something that would be interesting to see.
You know what's funny? They crowed about election interference for 4 years, trying to get Trump out. If Russia, interference. Oh, no, our guy won fair and square now. Nothing to see here. Our guy won fair and square. No fraud here, even though they've been crying and bitching for 4 years. It's funny. And then you see them in the street. They're telling you, wear masks, social distancing. And then guess what? What do we see? All these assholes in the street, mate, kissing and hugging and no masks and no social distancing. That's why they're so full of shit, man. It just beggars belief how full of shit these people all it was to weaponize the election to try and get Biden over the line. These people don't give a shit about social distancing and COVID and masks. They just used it to try and get their guy elected, and they weaponized the virus. That's it, man. That's all they did. They're full of shit. They're hypocrites, and hopefully I'm going to see them on their knees crying when Trump either goes to the Supreme Court or it goes to a Congress vote in the House, and they win 30-18. So I'm praying. I mean, I don't hold much hope, but you got to hope, haven't you?
Yes, exactly. It's going to be very, very interesting over the next month. I think it's the 13th or 14th of December it goes to court. So it could be a very nice Christmas present for the world, I think.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah. So
anyway, people they're supposed to be liking the video. I think they're supposed to be liking the video. We only got 54. Come on, guys. We've got 107 watching, and we're not seeing anyone do a thumbs up. We've only got 54. Smack that button right now.
Yep. We'll wait here all night till you do it. And also get the subscribe button. I clicked over to 7,000 subscribers, 5,000 to go till I back to where I was before YouTube took my first channel away from me. So and also get people, phone your mates, get them on to watch the show tonight. More people, the better. It works out in their algorithm stuff. So definitely get hold of all your mates to tune in tonight. So old Andy Harris will be president by April if Biden wins. He'll step aside and contracting COVID in March. My prediction anyway. I think she's just waiting next to his bed with a pillow, basically, to snuff him out.
You're probably right. I mean, she's a liar. He's a liar. I mean, we just can't let these people in. The guy's nothing wrong with old people, but he's senile and he's lost his marbles, which is fair enough. He's 78. I mean, in 8-year term, he'll be 86 years old. I mean, nah, man, it's too old. You got to start getting. I mean, you look at the energy between Trump and Biden. I mean, Biden is so low testosterone, low energy, and Trump's just handing him for breakfast. So there's no way they made up 950,000 votes, mate. Not possible, in my opinion. And hopefully he wins.
Biden just been sculling way too much soy milk. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, well, he might exactly. Yeah, I mean, what do? You just got to hope that common sense prevails and he doesn't concede. And I think there's going to be some serious ramifications, I think, man, if he wins and people in the street saying certain things and doing certain things in the media. I mean, can you believe the guy got 70 million votes? Media's against him. Big tech is against him. All the publicity's against him. And the guy still got 70 million votes. That's how you know that the average ordinary person supported him. They don't believe the media. They don't believe this big tech bullshit. They can try whatever they like, but people aren't stupid. They're not stupid.
No, not at all. Not at all. So it's going to be a very interesting few weeks, and I can't wait. It's going to be very interesting. I talk to Hootie every day or so, and he said, "Yep, Trump's going to win. He's definitely going to win." And when I talked to Jeremy from Texas yesterday, he was saying, more than likely he's going to win. And he said, "We absolutely love Trump over here. Trump is the man." He was saying in Texas, love him. He's done so much for the country. So
it's going to be very interesting. Sometimes he's a bit crass and all that, but I like that. I like guys that really aren't politicians. They're just ordinary people that I mean, he's not an ordinary person. I guess he's rich as hell, but no doubt he screwed a few people over in his time. With all the hotels and bankruptcies and so forth. But at the end of the day, man, he's out there doing doing the good work and making changes. Let's hope that can continue.
Yes, exactly. He's sort of like us. A bit rough around the edges.
Nah, that's more you, not me.
Yes, your private school boy. So yesterday was Veterans Day in the US. Yesterday or today. There's a bit of a time difference. So everyone was celebrating the awesome veterans of all the armed services. And what does our filthy government do? They do this. They are going to persecute our SAS and hold them up on charges. And old Scott Morrison gave a huge speech today. Couldn't watch the whole thing because after 5 minutes of him just going on about how he's going to try and bring criminal charges against our SAS heroes for just some hearsay sort of bullshit charges by the sounds of it. That's how he decided to celebrate Veterans Day, was by looked like he was really proud of what he's doing. So this is basically goes back to an incident over in Afghanistan donkeys years ago from one of the team members who turned into a snitch. Basically, from what the media was saying at the time, they did he was just had his been his bonnet about some of the guys in the team, SAS, and brought this stuff up. So it was all sort of hearsay. And Ben Roberts, the most decorated soldier we got right now with the Victorian Cross, is really been dumped in it. The poor bastard. So it's basically starters. How do you believe a snitch anyway? If you got a snitch on your teammates in the armed forces, which is one of the lowest of the low, how are you going to trust what he says? Really, if that's his character.
Yeah, mate, you can't. Things happen on the battlefield, some good, some bad, and that's just how it is, in my opinion. Like when, why doesn't Scott Morrison get off his ass and go and start fighting overseas with bullets whizzing past his head and see how he fares? And they're trying to push charges again. It's just unbelievable. This is why, again, the Liberal National Party is just out of touch with the average person. They claim to be conservative. They claim to be, basically to me, they're just Labor light. So they're nothing good. Nothing great comes from them. They're a bit better on economic policy. That's really about it. Other than that, they're just Labor. They know they can't get a leg up with, even if they were, to go really right wing, they think they're conservative, but they're not at all, mate. They ban guns. They trying to hassle our soldiers. Just terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. And they should be ashamed of themselves. What happens on the battlefield stays on the battlefield, and that's life, man. Sometimes you get it right. Sometimes you get it wrong. It's just how it is. And, collateral damage, people die. It's war. That's what happens in war. People die. I'm not going to risk getting shot by someone. If you need to act, you need to act.
Yep, exactly. I just think it's an absolutely poor display. You know what's worse? Is they got the federal police investigating what happened over in Afghanistan. What a complete joke. You can't tell me that's going to be a pissing contest, eh? The police against the armed forces. Man, they'll be slivering at the mouth, hoping they're going to pull something out of this.
Yeah.
Just absolute disgrace. For starters, the snitch is the lowest piece of scum on earth. You don't snitch on your brothers in arms. And our government seems to be going out of their way to do this, all pretty much on hearsay. It's been dragging out for years. And they're going to strip the medals and everything from the soldiers that are involved. Apparently, some innocent was shot or executed, they reckon. It's something along those lines on the original story. But no way in hell is it good at all.
And you've got these guys doing it for, 80, 60, 80, 70, 80 grand a year. Bullets whizzing past their head in Afghanistan. And then you got that's why Scott Morrison, he's not a leader. He's weak as piss as well. He's like your buddy, like old, like the brother you never had, like he's always trying to be your buddy. You're always trying to be your mate. I'm like you. Nah, you're nothing like me, buddy. You're nothing like me at all. You're a disgrace. I can't. Listen, he's probably better than some, in the Liberal Party, but, stop trying to be everyone's friend, Morrison, and actually do your fucking job. So.
Well, how come all these politicians all seem to be ex-high-class lawyers or ex-massive rich bankers? Isn't our politics meant to be for the common man? It's common law, and the politicians is meant to be a wide range of all classes and all fields of employment, really. Like it should be butchers and builders and bankers and lawyers, meant to be a broad spectrum of society, but it all seems to be high class, extremely rich people getting into all those top jobs, which 99.9% of people in Australia can't associate with.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, we'll get into tonight's topic, but maybe we'll ask people, what is the name of our show tonight? A pro-gun politician is really pro-gun. Let us know in the comments before we talk about it. What are your thoughts, interests, and opinions on this particular issue? Do you think they're doing a good job? Do you think they could do better? Where do you think they could do better? What do you think they're doing great? On the opposite flip side, what aren't they doing well in your opinion? What do we need to do to move forward? Give us your thoughts, interests, and opinions in the comments before we start talking about them. And maybe perhaps we'll put them up, we'll definitely put them up on the screen, and we'll address your questions and your comments. I think that'd be the best way to go about it, I think, too, and find out what you guys think first and where we can do better in the future. Are we doing better? Can we do better? What does the future hold in regards to gun ownership? If we can't get any results on gun reform, because we're definitely not holding on to what we have. I hear a lot of people say that, well, we just got to keep what we have, but we're not even succeeding at that either. We're failing miserably at that. So let us know in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts, interests, and opinions on that, and we'll put them up on the screen. What do you think, Aaron?
Yes, well, the whole thing came about when I was talking to Twisted Oaks, Jeremy, about it in Texas. We're talking about politics over there as well, and he said they have the same problems as us. That they only pro-gun when they want to be pro-gun. When they want your vote, they'll be pro-gun. Exactly like what that video of Pauline Hanson I put up. A lot of people got butthurt over her saying, we will not weaken the NFA. We will not weaken Australian gun laws. Where have you heard that before? That language?
Where?
Samantha Lee from Gun Control Australia. That was her catchphrase. We will not weaken the gun laws. We cannot weaken anything. So here's Pauline Hanson pretending to be pro-gun and saying she doesn't want anything to do with no reversal of any form of the NFA, which is the NFA is gun control. Don't fucking get that wrong at all, guys. Any politician that does not want to change the NFA, which is our gun laws after from John Howard's bans, is pro-gun control, because that's all it is gun control. So never, ever get that right. And it's disgusting how you see these so-called shooters out there pushing Pauline and carrying on Katter, Pauline. None of them have ever done anything to reverse the NFA. So in my eyes, they are all anti-gun, and they support Gun Control Australia because they don't want to change the 1996 gun laws. And I don't care what anyone says. That's just the plain facts of it.
I wouldn't necessarily say they're anti-gun. I think they're pro-firearm, but I'm saying but you are right in the fact. And me and Aaron were talking about this last week, and just a couple of different things we were talking about. And it was sort of a hard thing for me to swallow, because I get what he was saying about these politicians, and a lot of people find it very, they get rusted on with one particular party. It's just, I don't know, it just seems to be with politics. We're seeing it in America right now, whether it's Biden or whether it's Trump. There's a lot of people that are really, really passionate about it, and passionate to the point where you can tell them, like Aaron actually got that audio from Pauline Hanson from me, because I keep all the stuff on my computer that our politicians are saying. When I see it on the internet, I quickly just copy and paste it. I get the MP3 file and I keep it on my computer under that person's name, so I can refer back later on as to what these people said. And Aaron remembered that. He remembered, didn't Pauline Hanson say something? I said, yeah, she did. I posted on my page probably 6 months ago. So I dug it up, and that's exactly what she said. That was after they got stung with the NRA. So, yeah, it is quite disappointing when, again, I know Aaron doesn't vote for them. I'll not vote for them in particular, but I'd still vote for a pro-gun party because I've got to be there and vote. What else am I going to do? Who else am I going to vote for? Yeah, but I'm also now not under the illusion that it's going to make any single difference at all, because in the last 10 years, we haven't had any changes whatsoever. And especially in Queensland, as you guys know, they don't have an upper house. So it's almost darn near impossible to get people into Parliament from pro-gun parties unless they get a bunch of votes in their particular region, i.e. the Katter guys and stuff like that. Now, they say the right thing, which is fantastic. That's just brilliant. They say the right things, but what it comes down to at the end of the day is legislation and getting the ball over the line. That's what it comes down to. And like I said, it's hard when you see 50 years of being in politics and not a single bill on the floor of Parliament to make life easier for shooters. Doesn't mean I'm against them. That's just the reality, unfortunately. And That's what a lot of people got to realize. No one's against them. I'm just telling you what the facts are. And that's true. So, I'd like for that to change, but when will it change? If it hasn't changed in 50 years, when is it going to change? Pauline's not going to change the laws. She said that. So I guess the biggest question is, as me and Aaron were talking about probably 2 weeks ago, where do you go from here? And we've sort of come to the idea that we need to push it through the legal avenue, which is what we've been talking about probably now for about 3 months. The organisations have got to start putting that money to good use. They've got to start fighting gun bans, because the politicians, unfortunately, just can't seem to get the results because we don't have enough people. And we're probably likely, to be brutally honest, we're probably never going to get enough people. And even if we do, when is it going to be? 50 years? I've been talking about this stuff for 10 years. And to be honest with you, hence the reason why me and Aaron talk a lot, that I've actually stopped interviewing politicians. I think Bridget McKenzie was the last one. That was because she contacted me. But before that, I've only done one political one in about 18 months, because I just figured this is a complete waste of time. None of these people actually getting results. They just tell me what I want to hear. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then they get elected, and then nothing happens. And sometimes they've even heard them say to people, well, who else are you going to vote for? Who else are you going to vote for? In other words, I've got to give them my vote anyway. Well, no, I don't have to give you my vote. That's the whole point. It's a bad way forward. Let us know what you guys think in the comments about what we can do moving forward.
Well, everyone goes, oh, well, who to vote for? Don't vote for any of these guys. Do not vote for any of these fake pro-gun parties. If they are not going to change the NFA, even a little bit of the NFA, like let us have suppressors, something small. If they're not even going to do something like that, don't give them your vote. Don't reward their incompetence and their lack of help towards shooters. Don't reward these idiots at all. But funny thing, we got our first butt hurt. I will show this because this guy's an absolute tool. Old Dave Smith, which obviously is a troll. Fuck off, go home, shitting stuff Australia. Well, I am home, so I don't have to go anywhere. So this guy will be getting banned, and we got our first butthurt idiot. So if you guys want to go comment on him, go nuts.
But what if, instead of getting upset about it, why don't you just give us your opinion? Like, put something tangible and legible so we can actually sort of have a decent discussion. And this is exactly what I was just talking about. People getting upset and getting angry and just going off on these tangents of aggression when that's not really solving the situation. I'm not saying we're solving the situation by saying this sort of stuff. Might be unpopular, but it's just the facts. I mean, again, I'd love for David to honestly give us his opinion without all the aggression and anger. And this is what a lot of these rusted on party people do. I've obviously said something or Aaron said something about someone they like, and it doesn't mesh well with their personal feelings, which is fine. But let us know why you think it's wrong. Like, give us some sort of to work with. That's what I told you. If you're going to go off and you're not happy with what we're saying, that's totally fine. But give us what your opinion is. Where can we move forward? Because, again, what we've currently done for the last 20 years hasn't really worked at all. And I'll be honest with you. Let's put it this way too. I wanted to mention something as well. I would probably say Queensland has had it's not great, but it's probably one of the better states, if not the best, for guns in Australia, right? And they don't have any pro-gun politicians in Parliament except for the Catters, and they don't have the balance of power. So if having politicians in Parliament makes the difference or doesn't make the difference or stops gun control going through, how come Queensland is not one of the worst states in the country again? And then in other states, we have the pro-gun parties and our laws are much worse than Queensland. So do you really need the pro-gun people in Parliament? That's an interesting question. And again, let us know your comments. And David's you probably banned him now, but would have liked to have just seen what his opinion was and where he thinks, we can move to in the future to try and get these people to do something. Sorry, I've just been doing it for 10 years, talking over and over and over about crap and how they're going to help us, but no legislation in Parliament. It's all just talk. It's all just talk, just like we do. It's just talk. It's not actually achieving anything.
Yeah, but we're not getting paid $180,000 a year for a talk, are we? And we're not and we're not promising the people of Australia that we're going to do something and not doing anything. So my advice is forget about the politicians and go over and support an organisation that actually does something. And the only one so far that Jason and me can think of and have seen proof of is the NSC. They're the only ones that have taken court action. SSAA, Shooters Union, pathetic. Forget about them. They all talk, no do. All they do is post on bloody social media, kind of like us, but we're not calling ourselves an organisation or an advocate group. We're just two dudes doing this for a bit of fun. But yeah, forget about the politicians. Go to an organisation that actually does something and put your time and effort behind them. So tell me now, in the comments section, if the NSC became a political party, who would vote for the National Shooting Council as a political party? Put it down in the comments and we'll read them out.
But please have a look at some of the comments and put some people's comments up. We'll have a look at them and let me read them. On a lighter note, I got my first reloads done and down the Lithgow tonight. Nice, looking good on pressure. So far, going to load 45 grain VMAX charge tomorrow. Compressed loads. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my favourite. Hear that crunch. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep.
Yep. And Chris is one of our regulars as well here every week, mate. God bless his soul. And me and Aaron are going to go hunt deer on his property. He's got no say in the matter.
Yeah. Whenever our overlords allow us to travel.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's David, NSC. We would hand out pamphlets to every shooting club for everyone to be a member and support their legal action for our freedoms. Unfortunately, a lot of the shooting clubs are SSAA, and I don't think they would stand for that.
See, that's the problem too. They've got to become, and it's going to take a long time. That's what, again, people don't realize is, I think I had it. Here we go. Look, this is actually, and you guys know I'm still a member. I had a 5-year membership, so I've got no choice. Actually, just funny how it comes up. This is what we get. So when they say they're fighting for people, this is what they put up, guys. Look, shooter, 200,000 strong. So they just keep getting more people get into shooting. What do? They go to a club that's got a range. And that's the club that's got a range, and that's the sort of stuff they put up. That's what they always say when I'm not saying they say it to me and Aaron, but just in general, well, we keep building membership bases. That's only because of the National Firearms Agreement, and they have to join a club. That's the only reason. If that no longer existed, within the first 12 months, I'd say you'd probably lose 40 to 50% of your membership base in the first 12 months. I mean, let's be clear about that. Again, but they won't do anything. I mean, I don't know. The time they get rid of those old fogey fuddy-duddies and they get some young bloods, some guys that are just rearing to go, jump in, get their teeth wet and get amongst it. That's what should be happening. I tried that 3 years on one of the committees, mate, complete waste of time. Half the stuff three-quarters of stuff, and probably 90% of stuff they talk about is not really interesting at all. There's nothing about advocacy. It's about, which is fine, about managing ranges and this and that. And it's basically the management of the branch. I didn't know that. I wish it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It turned out to be just very boring at the end. And and a bunch of guys that I knew were also on the same committee. They ended up giving up as well because they knew it was just a waste of time. You couldn't really do anything.
Thank you very much for Mick. We'll just read his question out quickly. Hit them in court, get some wins, don't go genuine reason or political NSC. Interesting. They are hitting them in court and are doing really, really well. I was talking to Peter this week and they've been very, very busy and they actually help out shooters. So if a shooter's in trouble and need help, you can contact the NSC and if they can, they'll go in and bat for you and bring your case up in front of the people that they got their ear of who can actually help you. So if you got troubles, contact them and they can actually help you out and go to court for you, which is good. They got our old mate.
Some of these organisations, all they care about is just making money. Oh, it's been made Eric from Chuckin. Eric.
Yeah. Good morning or good evening. Good morning. It'll be pretty early in the morning over there right now.
Yeah, no, I talked to Eric a fair bit. If you haven't checked it out, you can check out his woodchuck hunting videos. Very good. So
yeah, go over to his channel. You can click on. I think you can click on his channel, his name here, but wait till the podcast is finished, the live stream. But yep, definitely go look at his channel. It's very good.
Yeah, don't leave the live stream just yet. But let's go through some of the comments. Let's see what some people are saying. Let's put them up. We haven't been doing that the last couple of weeks. Yeah, 200,000 shooters. This is a happy hunter, one of our regulars. 200,000 shooters to screw over. That's all they're boasting about. Yeah, it's just. Listen, and I wish they weren't like this. I've said this 1,000 times. It's almost like a broken record. I'd love if I wake up tomorrow and they were hitting the government hard. mate, me and Aaron would say that. We would say that, and we'd be like, wow, stoked, this is awesome. But again, they just keep rolling over to the government because, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's the whole thing. And, these guys will complain and bitch about things that we say about it, but they know it's the reality. We know it's the reality. All the people that watch this show know it's a reality. And, again, just take your money elsewhere. Take your money to a club that's going to use it wisely. I mean, and SSAA could do that if they really wanted to. They could chuck who wouldn't be happy to spend an extra $10 a year on membership, 200,000? What's that? 2 million? What's that? How many? What's that? 100,000, $10. I mean, what's that? 10 million bucks? Is that right? Is my maths was never my strong point. Right? Is it 2 million or 10 million? But anyway, right? Even a couple of $1 million, we could have 3 to 4 lawyers on retainer every year, $500,000 each, worth say $2 million. And we could afford, and their sole job would be to fight this draconian gun law type stuff, go to the tribunals, fly places to represent people. And then we'd probably pick a couple of those cases each year for the average person that we would fight for them if they had spare time on their hands. And if they don't get results on the legislative level or on fighting these laws, we just get rid of them and we get some new people in, put them on a contract. Who wouldn't be happy? Who wouldn't be happy to pay for 3 to 4 lawyers per year on a yearly basis to be all they do is fight these gun laws? That's all they do. People that know the law, injunctions, fighting, just trying anything they possibly can, just generally making the life of the government and the police as difficult as they possibly can.
Yep, totally. Well, there was the article this week by Victoria Police, $60 million, in legal costs fighting gun owners and defending the police for their actions. The biggest payout in Victorian history, with that couple being shot at the nightclub. And I think the guy was shot through the back getting a blowjob. And the investigating police obviously found them all to be not a problem. Self-defense, they were saying, for Christ's sake. Self-defense, shooting a guy in the back. Jesus. What's the guy going to do? Fart on the cops? Jesus.
And they said it was self-defense. Oh, it was self-defense, yet they went on to pay $3 million, the largest payout in Victorian history. So, again, I'm not sure if that was the girl too, because she was shot in the leg as well. I'm not sure if that was just him. But when in the ad or the magazine article online, it was just mentioned him. So I presume he got $3 million, and I don't know how much else she got. I'm thinking $3 million is not really a lot, considering I probably should have died. I'd probably think maybe to about 10 to 15, maybe 20 million. It'd probably be reason. I mean, again, you were shot for no reason whatsoever, and so they called self-defense, and then they paid out $3 million. So again, absolute bullshit. Oh, look at Aaron. Aaron's a nice guy. You said Jason for PM.
Yeah. Well, everyone's been saying that we should run for politics, but I keep saying I can't myself because I'm not corrupt enough, and I'm not. I've got morals in life, so I can't be a politician, and I can't sit there and blatantly lie to people's faces. So I couldn't be a politician.
It probably wouldn't be worth it anyway at this stage, because again, I think, again, if you're getting part of these organizations that start getting the members in and getting the money rolling in, it's probably going to be much more successful, I think, than going into Parliament, because at the end of the day, if you don't have a balance of power, you're not going to be able to do anything for 4 years. You absolutely have you got no power, and the government won't deal with you. We're seeing it here in New South Wales. We are seeing it in Victoria. We're seeing it in Western Australia. We're seeing it in all states around Australia. That's just the reality of it, because we don't have enough people. People say you got to vote for them. That's fine. Okay, let's say you do vote for them. We've been doing that for 24 years now, since Port Arthur. And like I said, it hasn't resulted in any tangible changes, except for public land hunting in New South Wales. Got to give credit where credit's due. John Tingle, former Shooters Fishers Party in New South Wales, fantastic guy. Unfortunately, I think they've lost their way since then. But under John Tingle, one guy was able to negotiate public land hunting with the then Premier Bob Carr. Huge, massive, huge. And I'll always give John Tingle respect for that, because that was epic and it was really good.
And he left the Fish and Shooters and doesn't want anything to do with them anymore, because he didn't like the way they were going, did he?
Possibly. We'll continue with that. We'll continue, but maybe. I mean, who knows? I mean, I can sure he probably wasn't happy with the way they were going, changing the name and stuff like that. But I mean, sometimes you've got to diversify. You've got to diversify. You've got to get into different things, and it's just I wish things were different, man. I really do. I wish I was over shooting woodchucks with my mate Chuckin over there and living in the USA, and got all types of freedom, and you can. Just totally different world, man. And, will it ever change here? I don't think so. Like, I like to think it will. I'm fighting for 10 years. When you first start, you have all this, im and vigor and gusto. And then eventually now I just started to think, well, what's the point? That no one's getting any results. When are we actually going to get some results?
Yep, exactly. And it's never going to happen. We just don't have the representation, and we don't have people with balls out there to do something. Before I get into the next part of the rant, thank you very much, Phantom. Love my guns and love my hunting and passing it down to my kids. Fantastic. Got to get the kids involved. Shame our stupid laws really restrict kids in hunting and using firearms, which is a real shame. Thank you very much, Phantom, for that. And once again, what we've said many, many times, Pauline Hanson, 20 years in politics, achieved nothing for shooters. Bob Catter, which I refer to him as our Joe Biden, 50 years in politics, achieved nothing for shooters. So why are you guys voting for him? I can't believe it. They don't do anything. It's 50 years. The writing's pretty clear. Nothing's going to happen. So I just don't. Yeah, just staggers me. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, some people say, well, like I said, what's the alternative? Like I said, put your money, and you know how behind these organisations they actually see fighting. I think, getting to our point of what to do would be to, again, get behind some of these good organisations that are going to be fighting for you, and at least trying at a tribunal level, because we know, man, things are going to cost a lot of money to go to Supreme Courts and hundreds of thousands of dollars. We've seen that. I mean, we saw the SSAA spend that when one of their members took them to court, and had barristers and then hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm like, fighting their members, why don't we use hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight the government instead of our own members? And this was over the price of a membership. That's what it was over. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. You couldn't believe it.
And then the stories that people were posting afterwards, what they said was, I'm not going to repeat them because we don't know if they're actually true, but you'd believe them. And from when you read them and you know about SSAA, you'd believe it. Was unbelievable what they're saying afterwards. Absolutely unbelievable. So, yep, just all priorities are totally wrong.
But I hope one day they get results. But, again, I've been doing this for 10 years. I mean, it does start. Imagine you're me doing this for 10 years, podcasting week after week, after month, after year, and you just don't see any benefits. This all started with letter writing. I used to be a big fan of the letter writing stuff, and then realized, mate, these government, they just chuck them in the bin. They couldn't care less. They couldn't care less about letters. All they're going to care about is getting hit in the hip pocket. And when they go to court, make them turn up to court, make them be there, make them defend themselves, make them do paperwork, make them, we have to force them. That's the only way it's going to work. And I'd love to get to a time where, every time they go to propose something, straight away we're just in court or at the local tribunal or whatever it may be. And just every time, like without fail, like they'll come to realize eventually that picking on and harassing law-abiding people doing the right thing was a very, very bad move. And every time they know if they do something, it might give them cause to second guess. It may not too, but it'd be nice if we could try that and see what happens.
Well, here's Peter, who is a part of the hierarchy in the NSC, Bagara. Talking to obviously one of the other guys here, we have had Vic shooters who tried to get PTAs for the Ruger PC9 charger, and they are playing games, and they have gone and they're going and helping out with that actual firearm down in Victoria. And didn't they have a win in one of the states, South Australia? I think it may have been. I can't remember. A win on the PC charger as well, which is really good.
Outdoor Tasmania lost it, said, let's move to Texas. It would be nice. I feel like I was born in the wrong country sometimes. I really do. Like, I figured I was born in the wrong country, and, you've only got one life. I mean, me and Aaron are probably well and truly halfway through ours at the moment, or halfway. If we live to, I'm 40 in April next year, so Aaron's a little bit older. I mean, we want to enjoy the last parts of our lives, and it'd be nice if you could enjoy your sport without constantly looking over your shoulder with restrictions after restriction, after trouble, after do this with the ammo, do this with the freaking hell. It just gets terrible after a while.
It really started. It was in WA, actually. Thank you, Peter. It was in WA that they had a win. Of all states, the worst state. I'm just sick to death of buying a gun and having to second guess, is this going to be banned? Should I buy this gun because they're going to pull some bullshit? Am I going to spend $2,000 on something that they can just take because some pencil pusher doesn't like it? I just want to be able to buy my stuff and enjoy it and live my life and just leave me alone, basically.
Yeah, it'd be nice. They've got to constantly have their hand in my pocket or hand on my guns at all times or whatever it may be. They're always doing something to, stop me enjoying myself, or it just becomes so difficult to use firearms. People are just giving up and we can't give up.
Exactly. Well, Bagara's got it right. Thank you for the donation. What shits me the most is that they allow importers to bring in guns to Australia, then we buy them and they rob us of our property. Exactly. If you're going to pull crap like this, just don't let them in. Don't let people spend their hard-earned money. Then 2 months later, just take it out from them and reclassify it so you don't have to pay compensation. If you're going to pull this crap, just don't let it in. Don't sucker people into spending their money, then take it off them.
Yeah, exactly. So this one's interesting too. Conservative Sniper says, we shooters that are members of SSAA or SSAA should tell them loud and clear that we want them to advocate for us to be allowed defensive handguns in our own homes. Mate, I agree, but people have done that for years now. I mean, if they haven't seen the, wave of negative publicity all over social media about them, they just don't seem to care because, again, like I said, where is it now? They just keep building membership, 200,000 now, right? So they don't care about what we say. They don't care at all. People keep joining. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. That was at 160,000. Now it's at 200. That's 40,000 members within the last probably 2 to 3 years. So that's huge, and people just keep joining. That's why they love the NFA. That's why they love the Genuine Reasons, because that's their whole business model. Their business model is the NFA. Yeah, and it's just shocking. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. I mean, if I could just switch that off overnight, go on the Genuine Reason, I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat. If I said go on tomorrow, even if I knew they were going to lose 3/4 of their business, I'd switch it off tomorrow, just like that. Because you know what? It's not about the money. It's about the cause. That's what it's about. It's not about these guys making money off the backs of shooters. That's fine. They can run a business and they're doing the best thing for their members. Yeah, that's fine. But I would switch that off, that tap off like that tomorrow. If I knew they were going to lose 90%, I'd turn it off like that tomorrow.
Yep, exactly. It's just, it gets a bit depressing, really, living in Australia. I try and explain to our good friends in America about it, and they're just dumbfounded. They really are dumbfounded by the crap we have to go through. It's just unbelievable. And Jeremy, who I talked to in Texas, he was a police officer after leaving the military in Texas. And I told him about how our police just love banning guns, and they are the main instigator that we all hear. They don't want these guns, and they're all anti-gun. And he was dumbfounded. He said, not over here, they're not. So we actually advocate for people having guns. It's totally different. It's like chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. But, I just think, like I said, best thing we can do on a positive note, best thing we can do is get behind the organisations and keep trying to slowly get those wins. Get those wins in the tribunal, get those wins as best we can. Yeah, we're going to fail a lot of the time. We're going to fail. It's just unfortunate. That's the legislation, the framework we have to work with. But you know what? They're soon going to get to know the names that are taking them to court going, oh, not this again. Again, I've got to turn up. Again. Because before, we never did that at all. All they did is they told SSAA, oh, we're banning a new gun. They're like, oh, okay, we'll let our members know. Thank you. Beep. That's what was happening basically. Now they've got a little bit of resistance. So fantastic. Got to build that resistance, and we've got to build that resistance as much as we possibly can.
Yep, exactly. And this is right from long range lead slinger. The only reason we don't have gun for self-defense is so they can control you with their guns. Exactly. And when I explained this to Hootie Hoo last week, he's dumbfounded. He goes, "It's my right. If someone comes in my house with my family, as soon as they're inside my house, I blow them away. That's it. That's it. They're dead. That's my right as a human in America to be able to do it."
I mean, I guess true. At the end of the day, I mean, I've been over to America a bunch of times, probably about 8 times. And, at the end of the day, they're human people too. They don't want to be nobody wants to kill anyone. Nobody, in my opinion, nobody goes out of their way to kill somebody. No one. I mean, I know all of us, we talk a big game of what we might do. And, it's not a big game. Like if someone's in your house, you probably would have to take action, especially if they're around your family. But most people and normal people, including all the ones that are pro-gun and pro-self-defense, don't want to have to kill anyone. Nobody wants that on their mind. No one wants that on their conscience. But what they want is just the right to be able to defend themselves if they need to, if that issue happens to arise. And for most of us, it's never going to happen in our lifetime. But the people that it does or has happened to, I'm guessing if they didn't have something on them, they probably wish they did at the time.
Here's an interesting one as well. WCS Outdoors. Would you think all the threats coming from China, your government would be more willing to have an armed population? Nope, not at all. We have one of the most hostile places right off our doorstep in Indonesia who absolutely hate us. And we still can't, it's an hour boat ride to Darwin. And no, not at all. They won't give us anything at all. So no, I don't think it is that it happened. If someone invaded Australia, it's all over. Said I read a report that our whole armed forces have enough firepower and ammunition and troops to cover 20 kilometres of beach line for 20 minutes. Then it's all over. So no, I don't know if that's true, but man, they parked every single tank, I think, a few years ago. And the media took photos of it up in Townsville in a paddock by the side of the road. Every tank. Geez, would be the time to strike, wouldn't it? You could take out an entire tank force in one hit.
Sorry, one of the super chatters, Sirhat said, sorry, guys, he had a super chat question at the start of the stream. We must have went off on a tangent. So,
sorry about that.
Yeah, it was about the getting his category A and B license. Is it hard? Not really. And if you don't have a criminal record, you've just got to do your safety course. Obviously apply for the categories you want to apply for. As most of us know, category H is a lot harder than your standard category A and B. So you'll need to join a pistol club as well, then do your 6-month probation. But in regards to your category A and B, that should be pretty straightforward. You just do the safety course. Select your category A and B for target shooting and hunting for both categories if that's what you want for your genuine reasons. And then, apply for your license, get the paperwork, send it all in. And in New South Wales, like me, wait 12 months and you might have a gun license if you're lucky.
And he did ask about Cat C, which is more hassle than it's worth, really.
Yeah, it depends. Cat C, if you're there's many, it depends on what reasons, primary production, you can still do it for sport shooting, for clay targets if you've got a genuine need, like you've got medical history or something like that. It all depends on which. There's so many different criterias for category C, target shooting, farming, that sort of thing, primary production. So again, all depends on what you want to do. But yeah, come join the club, come join the shooting community. It's bloody fantastic, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and Major says finding a safety course in Victoria is impossible at the moment. It definitely would be because you can't really leave your homes and do much, can you? I'd like to know if anyone from Victoria in the chat, please tell us, what are they doing about your mandatory shoots for your pistols down in Victoria? Because it's been so long since you haven't been out, so you're going to hardly get any in. They're just going to scrub it for the year or take a few off like they did in the last financial thing they did up here in Queensland, but they only took like 2 shoots off. But down in Victoria, being so restrictive, locked down for so long, what are they going to do down there? They should buzz you to say, okay, no shoots this year. We've had 6 months you can't shoot.
I think they already did. I know on my one in New South Wales, they did it in New South Wales. So basically, all the mandatory shoots have been cancelled for the year. You don't have to actually do them. So, which is fair enough, which is pretty reasonable because, we don't get to shoot. We haven't been able to go to the ranges. I mean, we're in difficult times.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, well, they gave me 2 off my 12 I had to do last year. Here's a good one. We only have 59 tanks. This is from Chopper, M1 Abrams here in Australia. Jeez. Yeah, it's not going to last long, is it? Especially if they park in one place by the side of the road. No, it's I really feel for our services. I actually had a new worker start for me this week, and he's a pilot, and he went into the Air Force, and he said it's gone pretty, it's pretty like bad in the Air Force now. Like it just takes so long to become an officer, and he was talking me all through it. It's just like why? So he decided not to go any further in it, and he is becoming a pilot doing mustering and stuff like that. And he said it just wasn't worth it joining the Air Force anymore. It was just more trouble than it's worth.
yeah, I mean, I was doing it. Most people would know about me that know me quite well. I was in the army for about 6 years, and you wouldn't do it. In my opinion, you wouldn't do it these days for love nor money. I think it was a lot better back then. Somewhat. I mean, it's a bit better in regards to probably the way they treat you these days. Especially when you're going through recruit training. 20 years ago, it was probably changing a bit then, but it was still not the best. But many years before that, yeah, they used to kick your ass, man. Like, physically sometimes. So, things have changed. Some good, some better, some bad. But again, for some of the guys, it's a good career move if you're getting out of school and you want to learn real world skills. And but I think these days, it's like becoming a police officer. You probably wouldn't do it for love and the money these days.
No, you just do it for a bit of a power trip and that, and get back at the people that bullied you. You're at school, really, wouldn't you? So here we go. We won't go to war. We will sell the ground out from underneath us. Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. Just everything in Australia seems to be for sale, isn't it? Our farms, our stations, our meat, our milk, everything just seems to be going. Now, where is Australia gone? Where's our manufacturing?
Yeah, Andy says, Andy 1234777, aka Daniel Andrews there with his Daniel Andrews photo. He said, we're off to Queensland mid 2021, born and bred Victorian. He loves his RPR, Ruger Precision Rifle, too much to move to New South Wales. So he looks like he's heading to Redneckville, Queensland, up there near Aaron.
Sweet. Keep us informed. Good stuff. And you keep your mask down there because we don't want them up here at all. Okay, keep your Biden muzzle and come to Queensland. Good stuff. Good stuff. I just think, as I said to Hootie, we should do a big swap. All pro gunners go to America to live. Allowed to go live over there, and all anti gunners in America come to Australia and live. Just a straight swap, and it's a win-win for everyone.
I don't think they're going to take our gun laws over their gun laws, man. I mean, there's still a lot of
the anti-gunners come here.
I mean, there's a lot of differences, you know what I mean? It's around, depends on what you like. Some people, it's not always about the guns for some people. I hear that from friends all the time. It's about jobs, healthcare, all these issues that, some states may not be, not that they're not good at it, but again, you pay a lot more than you would over here. So again, some people, but hey, if you know any beautiful senoritas over there, let me know. I'll know one of them.
Exactly. Got to get that green card. I'm all for that. As long as I'm rich as well. I'll only marry for money. That's it.
I was trying to get it for 10 years, but I thought, I'm Australian. Surely you would want to give it to me, not to someone from another country. But yeah, I was just never. I always checked it. I think it was you did it in the late October, early November every year. Then you found out in the June, July the next year, and I kept checking it every year. I'd have, in my email and a little folder set up, and then I'd check it. No, disappointed every single year.
You're gonna hate me, Jason. I won it. Did I ever tell you that? Yeah.
But, you fucking asshole.
About 15 years ago when it was. I won it. And
you idiot.
I was setting up my business and I had my family here and I just couldn't. I applied years and years earlier. And it wasn't the right time for me to move. I had to fly down to Sydney and pay a deposit sort of thing to set it all up.
I cannot believe it. You are madder than a cut snake, man. 10 years I waited. You
It's about that long for me as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, man,
This wasn't
I
the
didn't
right
know
time.
that about you. I did. Unfortunately, that's taken the bit of the varnish off, bit of the veneer off. Unfortunately,
But it's all, you can't do it now. It's all over. Trump stopped it a few years ago. The lottery.
you know, it's hard, man. It's hard to get over. But anyway, let's read some more comments. Let's do some more comments. See what people are
Yeah,
saying. Try and give back to the people that are watching the stream. Put their points of view across and see what they're doing.
yeah,
What do you got
yeah.
there? Anything
Who would
exciting that you can see coming up on the? I'm just looking. While you're doing that, I'll just look at a few here, see what some of the guys are saying. Yeah, long range lead slinger. There are more pro gun states other than Texas. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Go to, I don't know if I'm correct on this. Arizona, Missouri, Kansas, some of the good ones too. I know my mate Chuckin, who I talk to on a fairly regular basis. He's from New York State, which is, unfortunately, New York doesn't have the best gun laws and stuff. And I don't even think you can own ARs in New York State, or there's certain type of AR. I'm not sure if Chuckin's still watching, but if he is, mate, jump on and let us know. We'd love to find out, what you can own in regards to ARs over there.
Yeah, I'd probably go for Texas or Missouri. No, I'm sorry, Tennessee. Tennessee.
Yeah, and if you've seen some of the women in Texas, beautiful women, mate, beautiful.
And they love the Australians.
Yeah, so Chuck it, give me a sec. Yeah, I just wanted to find out whether, they got it. Because I know when they had them in New Zealand, the stock, the pistol grip didn't. It had to be enclosed with the stock. So you had to have a piece of, whatever polymer or whatever it was that runs from the pistol grip to the back of the stock as well. It looked a bit, I guess it's great. You could have them. Well, you could have them back then, not now. But it was great. You could still have them. I'd probably still accept them, but they didn't look that crash hot. The way they sort of, the pistol grip connected to the back of the stock. But, I'd still rather that, they can still get their pump shotguns, semi-automatics, 22, semi-automatic shotguns. I mean, you know what? Like I said, if that was the way it was here in Australia, like we just lost the centerfires, like I wouldn't have been happy. But if we could have what they have even now with the suppressors, like that'd be a huge step forward for us. Like semi-automatic shotguns, pump shotguns, Ruger 1022s. It'd be great. But I guess I keep wishing.
Yeah, we wish every day, and unfortunately, it never comes. We'll give a shout out to Alex. Maryborough Rifle Club and Rifle and Pistol Club in Queensland is up and running. Excuse me. It's taken 8 to 9 years of much hard work. Good stuff, Alex. So if you're up that way, take a look at their Rifle and Pistol Club. I'm pretty sure it is not SSAA, which is always a bonus. So here's Chuckin. If you have a semi-auto with a detachable magazine, it cannot carry more than 10 rounds. Have a pistol grip or an adjustable stock. Still more than what we have.
I was pretty close to it. Yeah, I was pretty close to. I didn't know the 10 rounds actually, but I knew the adjustable stock, and so you can't have a pistol grip as well. See, that's interesting as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, again, it just goes to show how different, not just here, but how different even the states are in regards to, each individual state, what the gun laws are in each individual state. So, and whether that treads on the Constitution, being able to own those certain types of rifles.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, but, politicians, they don't follow the Constitution over there if they don't like it. Matt, who else is getting the fuck out of Melbourne on the 23rd? Let's hear. Are people just going to pack up and leave? I've talked to a few people lately that are going to get out of Melbourne. They've had a gut full of it down there, and they're all wanting to come to Queensland.
When I go away next week, actually, down the Riverina, one of my mates is actually from Melbourne, and he was supposed to be wanting to come on this trip, and I said, mate, I don't think they're opening before Christmas. So luckily, they've had pretty much no cases of zero. And I was even reading some things like in articles from Andrews, and they're saying, well, they're freaked out that there's zero. Well, why is there zero? There must be cases around. So let's start forcing people to get tested, and basically let's just set up these places and hotspots that there were before, and just start testing people. Like that seems like very bloody Hitler-esque, doesn't it? Stalin, doesn't it? Like setting up there is none. Let's just move on. There is no COVID anymore, or at least there's no transmission of COVID. Let's move on with our lives. Great news.
Yeah, yes. So if you're gonna look for something, you're gonna find something. It's that simple. It's time to open up the country. The damage is done. They've done what they wanted. They've ruined a lot of people's lives, destroyed families. Suicides are through the roof down there. They've already damaged it. So just let people move on and pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. And no more bloody muzzles. No more crap and restrictions to the people down there.
Didn't I see you with one of those, Joe Biden muzzles and that, like a little mask of just says Biden Harris 2020? Is that you?
Yeah, Joe in the hoe.
Imagine that. Biden Harris 2020. I can imagine Aaron. I'd pay Aaron just $100 just to get him to put that on his Facebook page. Biden Harris 2020 or Joe and his hoe. That'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it?
Joe in the hoe. Yeah.
Oh man.
So here's Clint after shooting a 6.5 PRC. Awesome. For the first time, not being able to utilize a suppressor for hunting or range work seems idiotic. Well, it's just the way it goes, really. No matter what you have, you can't have suppressors over here. But PRC is awesome. I'm going to try and get out. It's going to be a couple of weeks from now. It's got a few things I've got to do. Jason knows what I'm up to. I've got a new, very expensive project coming up in the works that you'll find out next year that you guys should like. And so I've got to devote a bit of time to that. I spent so much money on it. So yeah, I'm going to get out and refine it. I'm going to try some 150 grain Sierra Match Kings through the 6.5 PRC. 142s, I've pretty much worked it out to a load where it was going pretty sweet and averaging quarter consistent MOA to half MOA every grouping. So I've just got to devote a little bit more time. It's just been so busy. I just don't have time to do anything. Come home from work, I fall asleep on the couch.
Actually, I got a question for someone. First off, you got a super chat from our mate Chuck, and got to head to work, guys. Thanks, take care. Yeah, he's a good guy, Eric. He's a really good guy. He makes good videos, so check his YouTube channel out. Subscribe, and he's always been real friendly. We talk on the phone a fair bit as well. Every 2 to 3 weeks, we're on the phone just having a laugh and talking hunting, and that's the good part about shooting. It's it's universal. It doesn't matter which country you're from. We all love our shooting, our hunting. And, check out his channel. He's got some great videos on there. So if you like my rabbit hunting, and I've actually got one. Speaking of that, Aaron, I went out last weekend, so I do have another video to make. And you talk about monetization and stuff. I don't make money off YouTube. It's just my my second scenario. Like, I enjoy making videos for fun. So I uploaded them twice, and they've already demonetized them. So I had to get reviewed. I've got 22 rabbit varminting kill shots in 2 minutes. It's coming up probably, I don't know, maybe I might release it tomorrow. So this is just a short version of some previous hunting. There is a few shots on there from this trip, which is awesome. The digi-scoping through the spotting scope worked really, really well. I think better than the DSLR with the big long tele-zoom lens on it. So, check that out. Probably I'll release it tomorrow. If they come back with a review of completed, as in they monetize me, I'll release it tomorrow. So, but I think you guys will like it. Just a quick 2-minute version for the people that like just the wham bam. I know Aaron likes that. Aaron doesn't like the storyline. He just likes the wham bam shooting. Some people like the storyline and the longer format doco version. So if you like that, I've got that coming. But tomorrow's one is just going to be pretty much smashing rabbits in 2 minutes. So you stick around for that. So AHP Outdoors, my friends.
I'll put the link up on my page as well. And talking about monetization, I have hit the big time, guys. After 8 years, I have hit the big time. I made $14.28 on that CZ video, mate. Tell you what, I'm going to celebrate with 2 beers. That is awesome. And the Lithgow, I made $9. So, I'm well on my way to retirement.
It's funny, isn't it? Because people people told me I was going to earn a lot of money doing this. What happened?
Yep, exactly. But then again, Hootie showed me a really good program, YouTube Buddy or You Buddy or something like that, and you can compare your channel to other channels, and you can work out what they're making. And I can tell you now, yeah, a lot of people lie in this industry saying they don't make any money. And that's over here as well because, yeah, they are. I'm always upfront. I tell you guys exactly what I make. I don't got nothing to bloody hide. Yeah, I'm taking home about $200 a month, but spending a couple of thousand a month on the actual channel. So we do have another super chat, so I can buy some more ammo from Yak Food Tube. What is the legality of making a monoframe suppressor insert and leaving the first baffle intact? Yeah, pretty much you'll be seeing Bubba in prison.
Yeah,
I think that's
don't put anything on the end of your rifle. Put it that way. Even if you did, you know? I'm sure I've heard a case of this before. Someone put a like bottle on the end of their gun. If it's for the purposes of suppressing the sound of a rifle, it's illegal. Even if it was just a bottle. So just be very careful, guys. Follow. As much as I hate it, me and Aaron hate it equally as much, I would say. But at the end of the day, just you got to think if you get your gun. I will tell you a funny story too. I mean, you'll get your gun license taken off you, but I'll tell you a funny story too. I got a friend of mine. I haven't spoken to him for a while. We just sort of sort of got in contact with each other and had a bit of a chat. And we're talking about. And about 2 weeks goes by, he got done for low range PCI or PCU, which is basically alcohol, and he was speeding at the same time. So anyway, when he got caught, it was a fair chunk over the limit too for speeding as well. He basically needed to go to the toilet. So he was getting a little bit shitty with the police officers. Obviously, nothing happened. There was no violence or anything like that. About a week later, he comes home. There's this little card. Oh, what's this? Rings them up. They're revoking his gun license as well due to traffic offences. You can't believe it, can you?
Yep. Unbelievable. Yeah.
So watch out, guys, if you're in New South Wales and other states. They even wrote to him, so he obviously didn't know what happened. When he goes, well, when I drop off these guns, I need some sort of paperwork as to why you're revoking my license. They even went back to when he had, I think it was unregistered driving or unlicensed back in 2001. He had 2 offences between 2000 and 2003, and then one in 2019, which I think was unregistered, and then obviously this speeding and low-range PCU. So whilst not the best, I don't tell people to go and break the law, obviously. It just goes to show, again, things that are unrelated to shooting, they're actually really starting to clamp down on people now. So anyway, it's obviously going to cost him some money now to head to court or at least do an internal review, find out what that is first. That's probably going to cost him $1,500. And then if he doesn't win the internal review, then he's going to have to go to the tribunal, and it's going to cost him about $5 or $6 grand. So whichever way, it's, if you've got to go, and that's with no guarantee to get his gun license back. So obviously I don't recommend, drink driving's bad. Don't do that. But, sometimes people make mistakes and do stupid things. And, he ended up, poor bastard, because the reason he was getting shitty because he needed to go to the toilet. And he goes, can I just go in the bush, like when they pulled him over, and they wouldn't let him. No, you can't urinate in public. So he ended up pissing his own pants. So you can understand why he got a little bit shitty with the situation. And I'd say the cops have rang the registry. They found out he had guns, reported it at the registry just to be dicks. And, now he's had his gun license revoked. So take it easy, guys out there. Just because you think it's unrelated to shooting, you're not going to get in trouble. Just keep your nose clean. Don't speed. Don't, have a designated driver. Don't do the wrong thing. Even though I think he should be able to get it back because there's nothing in the legislation that says that. Again, just don't give yourself any headaches if you can absolutely afford it. Do the right thing, and keep your gun license.
Yes, definitely. Want to thank Matt here, Matt Caddo. Thanks, guys. Enjoy a cold beer of me. $30 super chat. Thank you so much. I'll be buying ammo because I need to go do some more gun reviews. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And talking about pissing on in public, there is a law that you're allowed to piss on your front left-hand tire, I believe. And it's still law because that's what they used to do back in the horse and carriage days. And I don't think they ever got rid of that law. So by law, you don't hold me to it, but I was reading about it that you can actually piss on your front left tire.
Yeah. No, I don't know about that. I mean, he's a friend of mine. I felt sorry for him, but I said, mate, you got to make sure you're doing the right thing, man. Like, I think I had one years ago too, man. I was probably 20. I think I did, I was 2 days late on paying my reg. I got busted too. But I mean, it just goes to show, if I'm reapplying, they could reject my license. They could, and obviously they've given it to me 4 times since then, so they'd be very hard pressed to do that. But it just goes to show back how far they will go back 20 years to tell you can't have a gun license. You were unregged back in 2001, speeding 20 kilometers and under 2002, nothing for 14, 15 years, unregistered 2019, 2020, low range and speeding, PCU, whatever it is. I mean, again, and they refer back to what you did 20 years ago. He sent me the sheet. I was reading it myself. So just don't give yourself any headaches, guys. And, at the end of the day, it's only going to cost you money. Which nobody wants to spend $1,500, and then if that's unsuccessful, then $5,000 or $6,000 defending yourself at the tribunal. So,
yep, no, exactly, it's not worth it at all. And there's something from JR. Hey, Aaron, does YouTube take a cut of super chats? Yeah, they do take a little bit of a cut of super chats. Unfortunately, I guess it's a privilege to use their platform, I guess. But unfortunately, it's just something.
Aaron kept getting upset. I'm like, I can't wait until. Twitter gone, boo, gone. Bang. They've got to learn a hard lesson, mate, with all the crap they're doing. All these, tweets, all these things underneath people's tweets, and this is disputed. And I was like, I don't want to read this shit, man. I'll decide what I want to look at.
Oh yeah, Twitter's an absolute cesspool. I'll be glad to see the back of that stupid Dorsey idiot who's looking more and more like Bin Laden every single day.
Hey, the only good part that I'm on, and one guy was mentioning it last week, and that Aaron always laughs at me for it, but I've got significant holdings in cryptocurrency, like quite significant, 6 figures in cryptocurrency. That's where I'm at. And, the only good thing I know is that, man, it was like the market was at $400 billion during the election when they announced Biden, and I'm just looking at it now. The market's at $457 billion, mate. My account looks damn good right about now. I can tell you that. My Bitcoin account, woohoo! Let the joys begin.
Well, how about donating to a YouTube channel here?
Well, part of it is self-managed super, so unfortunately I can't spend any. It's got to go back into my self-managed super fund account. But I know a lot of guys are into the cryptocurrencies, the Bitcoin, Ethereum, so forth. So a lot of guys are in the market. So yeah, it's good times ahead, hopefully. But knowing our luck, I mean, Biden will get in and it'll just crash overnight, and I'll be back to square one. But thankfully I'm in at lower amounts, which is good. So.
Yep. Well, yeah, that is really awesome. About the crypto. And George, is something I was going to bring up. I was just thinking about it while you're talking. Get a Parler account. Definitely, guys. Both Jason and me are on Parler. And I tell you what, I've had 100 people sign up to my Parler in the last few days. Just exploded. And Parler actually crashed because so many people were leaving Facebook and Twitter and going to Parler only. So, yep, definitely get our Parler accounts are in the description below. So definitely go to the Parler and sign up. We're starting to post on there a bit more often. And there's not even a FUD. Never even seen a FUD on there. So, which is good. It's just all pure pro-gun, patriot people that are on there. It's just fantastic. And there's no slanging each other. There's no trolling. I've never seen a troll, never seen anybody on that being a dickhead. It's just absolutely awesome.
That's why I've been preferring Instagram recently. You just don't have any issues. I mean, you get the odd one here and there, but not really. I think I've only had 1 or 2, not even that, issues since I've been on there in a year, whereas Facebook, it's a whole new level. But anyway, let us know what you want us to talk about next week. Is there any topics you think that'd be good that you guys want to listen to? That you guys can be a part of and contribute to? Let us know in the comments before we go. And you know what? If you haven't clicked that thumbs up, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. We had 1 thumbs down again, and someone's not thumbed it down. They've taken it off. I reckon people just do it just to screw with us just a little bit. Maybe
it's that guy, Dave, that I banned because he's gone. He can't see the channel anymore. So he'll have to set up another Google account, which is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
they just don't. These idiots just don't learn. They really don't learn, do they? Act like an idiot, get banned, move on.
I think that's part of just social media, mate. You can't concentrate on those ones. You just Chris Miller, a good one. Before we go, I did an interview with Eric Cortina. He's an American F-class PRS shooter, and I was doing some reloading stuff, and you should check out his channel or check out the podcast coming out next week on the 18th, I think it is, 18th of November. It talks about a lot of good stuff, and check out his YouTube channel because it's very good also. A lot of things in there. Check out Aaron's too. Aaron's not got a bad channel. He's all right.
Yeah, well, you're watching it now, so you must like it. Here's, okay, where am I looking?
It's 9 p.m., dude. Let's wrap it up.
Yep. Yes, I do want to do a review on the 300 PRC. I think my mate has just ordered one. So, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so that has been a very good night. And guys, please go over and see Power Beam. They have been the sponsor of tonight's episode and helped Jason and me out by sending some torches over. So please, it's an Australian company. Go over and see them. They're top blokes and definitely worth having a look at them. They are really, really good torches. And I know because I've used mine for a couple of months now. And Jason just had his. So please, guys, show some support to the people that support us and have a look at their gear. So thank you very much. Thank you, Jason, for joining us. And thank you for you awesome people. And please smash that subscribe button, thumbs up, and the notification bell. And once again, you've all been fantastic. So we will see you next week. Catch you later.